Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast show. This episode, the continuation of the series How Christians and the Churches in the United Kingdom Can Help Eradicate Completely Knife and Gun Violence. Let's follow the footsteps of John Knox, Evans Roberts, Mary Slessor, Smith Wigglesworth, Charles and John Wesley, who refused to be ordinary Christians during their time.
Absolutely, Manasseh. It's like having a powerful engine but only using it to drive to the grocery store once a week. Our buildings, our physical spaces, they're not just for internal use. They are incredibly valuable assets, especially when we talk about tackling something as critical as youth violence in our communities. We often preach about being a light, a beacon, but are we actually opening our doors wide enough to truly be that?
That's exactly it. Think about the sheer amount of square footage that sits empty for most of the week. Imagine if we repurposed even a fraction of that time and space. We could be making a tangible difference, turning these sacred spaces into literal sanctuaries, vibrant hubs of activity that pull young people away from the streets and into a positive environment.
Right, and it's not just about opening the doors, but what we fill that space with. One of the most straightforward ways to start is with after-school programs. Kids finish school and sometimes they're left without supervision, or they just need a place to go that's safe and constructive.
Exactly. Imagine partnering with local schools. They're often bursting at the seams, looking for extra space. Our church halls, our spare classrooms, they could become satellite homework clubs. It's a simple action step, really. Just reach out to the head teacher, offer your space. It meets a real need and builds a bridge into the community.
And it goes beyond just homework. Think about the school holidays. These are incredibly high-risk periods. Youth services often scale back, and young people have so much unstructured time, which can unfortunately lead them into trouble. We can step into that gap with holiday programs.
Oh, absolutely. Week-long programs. Imagine days filled with trips, sports, arts workshops, even life skills sessions. Not just keep them busy, but intentional positive engagement. It gives them something to look forward to, something to be a part of, and crucially, provides nutritious meals.
Definitely. And the action step there is clear. Don't wait until the holidays are on you. Start planning now. Recruit those volunteers, think about funding, and crucially, promote it in local schools. Get the word out early so families can plan.
And then there are the evenings, particularly Friday and Saturday nights. These are often when youth clubs are most needed, times where violence can spike. Our buildings can host youth clubs and drop-in centers. It doesn't have to be a massive production.
Right, start small. Maybe a Friday night youth club, even just for 10 to 15 young people. Think about what kids actually enjoy. Gaming nights, football sessions if you have the space, music production workshops, and always, food. Food is such a powerful connector. Just having a safe place, food, and people willing to have a conversation, that's priceless.
It truly is. And on a more critical note, our churches can be literal safe havens. In communities where violence is a daily reality, a church can be a no-questions-asked sanctuary for a young person seeking safety. It's a powerful statement of refuge.
That's a heavier responsibility though, isn't it? It means establishing clear protocols, training staff for emergency situations, and really working hand in hand with social services. It's not just opening a door, it's about being prepared to offer emergency accommodation for youth escaping dangerous situations.
It is, but it's a profound demonstration of what it means to be a church in the truest sense. Beyond crisis, though, our spaces can simply be places of joy and connection. Community events are huge. Fun days, sports tournaments, talent shows, they bring everyone together.
And free food again. Family activities, a positive, festive atmosphere. It disrupts the geography of violence, creates neutral spaces where people from different areas can interact positively. Host a quarterly festival on the church grounds. It builds incredible relationships.
It's not just about the space, though. It's about the people within the space. Which brings us to mentorship programs. This is where the church's unique strength really shines, our volunteer base.
Absolutely. Research consistently shows that consistent mentoring reduces violence risk by up to 50%. 50%. That's a huge number. And churches are uniquely positioned with committed adults who often want to make a difference but aren't sure how.
Right. We have people with life experience, with compassion, with a desire to pour into the next generation. Matching Christian adults with at-risk youth for long-term, consistent relationships. That's the key. Long-term and consistent. Not just a one-off chat.
So, the action step here is recruiting those committed church members, 5 to 10, to start. Get them trained in safeguarding and mentoring. And then, how do you actually set up a program like that? You need structure.
You do. First, partner with schools. They know who needs that extra support. Second, DBS checks and safeguarding training are non-negotiable. Thirdly, provide structure. Weekly meetings, maybe a small budget for activities, accountability for both mentor and mentee.
And a minimum commitment, right? 12 months is a good starting point. Consistency builds trust, which is foundational. And then measure what you're doing. Look at school attendance, behavior, overall well-being. That helps you see the impact.
Indeed. And what does that mentoring look like? It's not always grand gestures. It's coffee, it's helping with homework, attending school events, cheering them on at sports games. It's career guidance, exposure to new opportunities, and just being available during crisis moments.
It's modeling healthy relationships and decision-making. And it's not just one-to-one. Group mentoring is powerful too, especially for young men addressing fatherlessness, providing positive male role models. Think about rites of passage programs for teenage boys.
Yes, tackling identity, relationships, conflict resolution, purpose. These are vital conversations often missing in their lives. And to get started, organizations like XLP or Youthscape have fantastic toolkits and training programs.
Moving on from the building though, sometimes we need to meet young people exactly where they are. And that means street-based outreach.
This is crucial, Emmanuel. Detached youth work. It means going to the parks, the estates, the street corners where young people gather, rather than expecting them to come to us. It's about building trust through consistent presence, without an agenda, initially.
Right. Just being there, listening, having conversations, building relationships over time. It's not about immediate evangelism. It's about incarnational presence. Start small. Train a team for 2-hour weekly sessions in one location. Consistency builds credibility.
And the Street Pastors model is a perfect example of this. They're active in over 300 locations in the UK. Friday and Saturday night patrols, offering help, flip-flops to those who've lost their shoes, lollipops, a listening ear. A visible Christian presence without being preachy.
It's such a beautiful, practical expression of faith. And if a church isn't ready to launch its own, they can join an existing street pastors team. Check their website, sign up for training. It's a proven model. Beyond that, conflict mediation is incredibly powerful.
Training church members in de-escalation and conflict resolution skills, intervening before disputes turn violent, facilitating conversations between rival groups. It's highly skilled work, but so vital in preventing the cycle of violence. Organizations like Gangs Line offer training.
And tragically, when violence does happen, our presence is needed in hospitals. Hospital response teams, being in A&E departments when knife or gun victims arrive. Supporting families in crisis, offering intervention to prevent revenge attacks. It's a raw, immediate need.
It is, and it's heavy, emotionally, but it's where compassion truly meets crisis. Approaching local hospitals about chaplaincy or volunteer support during trauma admissions is a tangible step.
Now let's pivot a bit to educational programs and schools engagement. Churches can be incredible support systems for local schools.
Absolutely. Schools are often overwhelmed. We can offer to deliver assemblies on choices, consequences, and hope, share testimonies of transformed lives, even offer specific knife crime awareness presentations. It's impactful.
It gives the school another voice, another perspective for the students. An action step there is just contacting head teachers, introducing your church, and offering this support. And on the topic of knife crime, churches can host knife surrender initiatives.
Yes, amnesty bins, in partnership with the police, Bin the Blade campaigns, community education on weapon laws and consequences. It's a direct way to get dangerous items off the street and raise awareness. Coordinate with your local police Safer Neighborhoods team.
And what about those students who are at highest risk, the ones excluded from school? Churches can mentor them, provide structure, education, and support during exclusion periods, working with alternative provision and pupil referral units.
This is critical, Emmanuel. Exclusion often marks a pathway towards further trouble. A church stepping in there can be life-changing. Partner with your local council's alternative education provision. They'll welcome the support.
And more broadly, educational underachievement correlates strongly with violence risk. So offering literacy and numeracy support is a preventative measure. Tutoring, homework clubs, exam preparation. We've got retired teachers, university students in our congregations who could volunteer.
A tutoring ministry. What a fantastic idea. And then, life skills workshops. Anger management, emotional regulation, communication, healthy relationships, financial literacy, job interview prep. These are skills every young person needs but doesn't always get.
Run a monthly workshop series. Bring in Christian professionals from your congregation to teach. It's empowering and practical. It equips them for life. And this leads us to employment and economic pathways.
This is huge, Emmanuel. The economics of violence. Unemployment and poverty are massive risk factors. If legal options seem absent, young people can turn to illegal activity. Postcode poverty is a real thing. Churches can create pathways to legitimate employment.
Right, a jobs and skills ministry team, CV and cover letter workshops, interview skills training, mock interviews, work experience placements through church connections, even professional clothing donations for interviews. So many practical ways to help.
And taking it a step further, social enterprises. Churches launching businesses that employ at-risk youth. Cafes, cleaning services, gardening, catering. They teach workplace skills like punctuality, responsibility, customer service, and provide that crucial employment history.
That's brilliant, providing a legitimate first step on the career ladder. Start small with one service, and then apprenticeships and training, connecting young people with opportunities, partnering with Christian business owners for placements, even paying for courses or certifications when needed.
Definitely. Survey your congregation. You'll be surprised how many business owners would love to offer an apprenticeship. And finally, financial literacy, teaching budgeting, money management, challenging consumerism, breaking the debt cycle, showing that wealth can be built legitimately.
The CAP Money course from Christians Against Poverty is an excellent resource for that. Run it at your church, it empowers people. Now, we've talked about individuals and communities, but we can't forget the family unit. Strengthening families prevents violence.
So true. Many parents feel helpless watching their children get involved in violence. Churches can offer parenting courses and support groups, specific support for single parents. Organizations like Care for the Family have amazing resources.
And then, family counseling, addressing domestic violence, substance abuse, family breakdown, partnering with professional counselors, offering biblically grounded therapy, connecting with Christian counseling services like the ACC.
Yes, the emotional and psychological support is vital, and practical family support is often needed too. Food banks, emergency assistance, help with bills and housing, childcare, transportation, establishing a benevolence fund specifically for families at risk.
These are real-life, immediate needs that churches can meet. And I love the idea of intergenerational programs, bringing youth together with older adults, grandparent-style mentoring, breaking isolation, building community, sharing skills and stories.
Monthly intergenerational events. It's such a natural fit for a church, with all ages under one roof. So, Emmanuel, we've covered a lot about what an individual church can do. But honestly, no single church can solve this alone, can they?
You're hitting on the core of our final section, Manasseh. Collaboration, strength in numbers. We absolutely need multi-church partnerships, pooling resources, expertise, volunteers, funding. It gives us greater credibility and a far wider impact.
Exactly. So, the first action step, convene local church leaders for quarterly violence prevention strategy meetings. Just talking, sharing, praying together. That's how it starts.
And then practical collaboration, shared youth programs across multiple churches, joint funding applications for larger projects, rotating responsibility for community events, united prayer initiatives. Form a local church alliance and assign areas of focus based on strength.
And this can lead to citywide movements, like London City Mission or Hope Manchester. Churches working together on a shared vision, coordinated action across entire cities. Joining or starting a Hope Together initiative in your area is a great way to do that.
And it's not just other churches. Partnering with local authorities is essential. Start with the police. Meet your Safer Neighborhoods team. Offer church facilities for police community meetings. Participate in safeguarding arrangements. And appropriately provide intelligence when young people are at risk.
Invite your local police sergeant for coffee. Ask how your church can help. It's about building those relationships. The same goes for the council. Attend consultations on youth services, apply for grants, partner with youth offending teams, support council-run services.
Contact your local council's youth services department, offer partnership. And remember, violence reduction units or VRUs are popping up in cities like London and the West Midlands. They take a public health approach to violence, and churches can be key partners. Find your regional VRU and ask how the faith sector can contribute.
Crucial partnerships. And back to schools. Build relationships with head teachers. Visit every secondary school in your area. Introduce your church. Offer support. That personal touch makes all the difference.
Beyond local authorities, we need cross-sector collaboration. Healthcare partnerships, for example. NHS trusts are increasingly recognizing violence as a public health issue. Churches can support trauma-informed care, collaborate on mental health initiatives.
Approach your local NHS Trust's community health team. Social services too. Working with children's services and social workers, supporting vulnerable families, and information sharing within legal boundaries. Attend local safeguarding partnership meetings. Churches should definitely be represented.
And don't forget existing youth sector organizations. Partner with XLP, Youthscape, Urban Saints. Learn from their expertise. Don't duplicate efforts, fill gaps instead. Joining Cinnamon Network is a great way to access resources and connect with other churches doing this work.
Absolutely. And finally, interfaith collaboration. Violence affects all communities. Work with mosques, gurdwaras, synagogues, temples. A unified community response, respecting and learning from each other's approaches. Attend local interfaith forums. Build those relationships.
There are also national organizations that church leaders should connect with. Cinnamon Network, Evangelical Alliance, XLP, Street Pastors, Prison Fellowship UK, Care for the Family, Youthscape. These are incredible resources.
Sign your church up with at least 2 of them. Access their training, their resources. It will equip you so much. So, Emmanuel, what's your final thought on all of this? It feels like a massive undertaking, but also incredibly hopeful.
It is hopeful, Manasseh. It definitely feels like a lot. But the beauty is you don't have to do it all at once. Start small. Pick one action step that resonates, that your church can realistically take on. The key is to start. Our buildings, our people, our faith, they are powerful tools for change. Let's not keep them locked up when our communities need them most.
That's a fantastic point. Take that first step. Open those doors in whatever way you can. Because when a church truly opens its building, it's not just a space that gets maximized, it's lives that get transformed. Thanks for this conversation, Emmanuel. Until we completely eradicate the forces of darkness, the wicked rulers in the high places and the principalities after the blood of these innocent souls, we will not rest.
My pleasure, Manasseh.